Mr. Ambassador, thank you for this interview and for your time. We're coming to the anniversary of the Russian war in Ukraine, and we'd like to know about the Russian and British relationship. UK is leading diplomatically and politically on this war, but the UK-British relationships have a long-standing one, and we can't describe it as a perfect one. When did things start to go wrong between UK and Russia?
I will say a long time ago. A long time ago, at the moment we do have a diplomatic relationship, but the whole architecture of relations has been destroyed by the United Kingdom in the political field, economic field, science, education, and all of that. The reason is that some time ago, US and UK decided that Russia has become too strong and they should counter it. The decision was just to extend NATO as close as possible to our borders and to turn Ukraine into the adversarial state to Russia, sort of anti-Russian. A lot has been invested into this materially, ideologically. UK, for instance, started different operations, what was called Orbital, to prepare at least 20,000 of troops, Ukrainian troops, against Russia. They decided to build 2 naval bases, one on Black Sea, one Azov Sea, and lots of equipment has been done to reinforce Ukraine and to change mentality, to make it sort of anti-Russian. That was a very wrong step, I would say.
So I'll go back to Ukraine in a bit. The relationship between the UK and Russia has started to go wrong long time before. And UK accuses Russia of poisoning a Russian agent on its soil. And things were wrong before. So can I say that Ukraine was just the cherry on the top? The relationship was bad way before that?
No. In the beginning of the years 2000, we have everything normal. But as I said, as Russia continued to become stronger and stronger, it looks like it provides a threat to the British-American dominance in the world. We have felt it. And the change has started, I would say, around 2013, when this accusation, wrong accusation, groundless totally, has been done. And since that time, probably, it has started quickly to deteriorate. Then Crimea and Maidan, first of all, has happened in Kiev. So Maidan was a sort of a revolution because the president was toppled by the Western countries, and all these changes. It was at the beginning of the war, as you describe. We describe it as special operation right now, but in fact, the war is going on since 2014 already.
It's a diplomatic war, if we can say before. So let's talk about the...
This is not a diplomatic war, because shelling of Donbass has started in 2014. So Ukrainian troops has come closer to Donbass, and they have started materially and factually to shell and to kill people over there.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk more about the current war now. How do you assess UK's role in what's happening in Ukraine?
UK is now taking a leading role in providing weapons and providing money to the Ukraine, but this provision of this type of help, it is destroying Ukraine, in fact, because Ukraine is now totally dependent on the foreign assistance. It has no economy at the moment. Industrial potential has been reduced by 85%. GDP is by 40%, and population of Ukraine is now 21 million only. It has been 45 million before the conflict.
Yeah, it's because of the Russian war.
Oh no, partially Ukrainian people has gone into Russia, more than 4 million people, partly to the Western Europe, Canada, US, and so on. But of course, lots of refugees are going on. And it's not the Russian war, it is a Russian special operation which is protecting Russian-speaking population in the east of Ukraine. This is what we are trying to do. And as I have said, this financial support on which Ukraine is totally dependent right now, and Ukraine cannot stop this conflict, because if they will stop, they will not receive no more money, no more weapon. So they have to turn in this wheel and to continue to run.
You say it's a special operation, but special operations don't last that long. It's a year already. So I just have a question. Shall we classify this as a proxy war between Russia and the West on Ukrainian soil?
We can classify it in different ways. For us, the necessity was just to protect Russian-speaking and Russian population living in the East. And I think that we are achieving this goal. The line of front is now more or less stable, but we have to gain more, because not totally Donetsk, for instance, is under control. And we're aware of the fact that they continue to kill people and to shell the infrastructure and the houses in this area.
Mm-hmm. If it's a special operation, when will it last? When will it end? How long will it last?
Until we will achieve our goals that has been assigned. So I cannot predict right now what's going to do. But the whole idea was to stop this discrimination, killing of Russians over there, discrimination of them, to protect these people. That's the only goal. So we have to achieve that.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Ambassador, we're in a very sensitive, dangerous time in history.
Exactly.
It's any of this can escalate into an all-out war, right? So this may not be just within the borders of Ukraine. We are in the danger of a massive war in Europe. Is Russia ready for this?
I will say that it is not our idea at all. We need to resolve one issue, and this issue is just we have to stop this policy that is coming from Kiev and which is against Russia, because Ukraine has become a real danger for Russia. It has big military potential, and we have to reduce this military potential. So this is what we are doing. We have to make Ukraine a normal nation in which all nationalities are living on equal terms. Hungarians, Romanians, Russians, Ukrainians, because it is a multinational country. Every country in Europe is multinational, but all are living in peace. Ukraine has decided differently. It decided that on Ukrainization, that Russians has no more option, they have no more possibility to live in it, and they are openly saying that if you're Russian, you go to Russia, not staying in Ukraine.
I want to go back to the UK, to the British-Russian relationship. The Brits accuse Russia of cyber attacks, of hacking, of all sorts of espionage on the UK soils. How do you reply to this? Put Ukraine aside. This has been ongoing for many years before.
It is
interference in elections, interference in votes, all of this.
Rima, I'm here for 3 years, and I'm reading every other day all these blunt accusations that has no proofs. We started simply to disregard. Initially, we tried to respond to them, but at the moment, I feel that it is only political gestures. They have no sense. We have no interest in, neither interest nor possibilities to interfere into internal British affairs. It is also prohibited by law, the external interference. When I'm hearing all these accusations, sometimes we do react, but mostly we do not, because they're false. It is just political gestures of some people who would like to attract attention.
We've seen for years the Russians were living a good life in the UK. Investments, they own sports clubs. Normal nationals live here, buy houses, buy flats. They live normally. Do you think this has changed after the war in Ukraine?
Yes, it has changed because of British government, the British government policy. It is now anti-Russian, and they are targeting lots of Russians that are living here. I hear complaints from Russian people. Many has gone back to Russia because they simply cannot do business here anymore. Earlier, some 10 years ago, we did have here about 600 representations of the Russian business companies. They have all gone now. They have been squeezed by the policy of Great Britain, and that's a pity because, and this is one of the disadvantages, Britain is cutting itself the opportunities to develop external foreign relationship. So it is bad for Russia, it is bad for Britain, but this is the current policy of this government.
Mm-hmm. Last question. If I'm gonna look ahead for the UK-Russian relationship, where will it go? Where are we heading?
That's a good question, and I would like to know how it will all end, of course. What I can say is that we are not going to take initiative. This is not our idea to demolish the architecture of relationship. But I do believe that we continue to be neighbors on the same continent. Russia will not disappear. Russia, of course, is going to prevail in this conflict because potentials of Russia and Ukraine are uncomparable totally.
No, but there's not Ukraine only.
It's not Ukraine only, it is being...
It's Europe and Ukraine.
Yeah, we do understand. And
it's Europe, Ukraine, the US versus Russia.
Exactly. And this is why the conflict is so long. But as I just would like to repeat,
but Russia will win.
Of course, yes. There is no other way to do it. Ukraine is now totally dependent on this assistance, but this assistance cannot last forever. So we have now to do our best to save, of course, a life of our soldiers and to achieve our goals. And I'm also sure that sooner or later, of course, it will be a more realistic feeling, so the realistic understanding that we are living on one continent and we need to design a real European architecture, security architecture, to which we are appealing of these countries that we should be together and not to make a dividing line between us and the rest of Europe.
And peace talks?
And peace talks, we are ready any moment. Peace talks has been started in February and April last year, but then UK and US has decided that Ukraine should fight, and they just stop the peace talks, and President of Ukraine has even made a decree that there will be no peace talks. So this we cannot understand.
And they're sending fighter jets to Ukraine.
Sending fighter jets, whatever it is. We have already destroyed tanks, all tanks that has been in Ukraine before. We destroyed all tanks that has been sent from different countries, around 700, I do believe, of old Soviet tanks. So we are going to destroy new tanks if they will arrive, as well as the jets.
Interesting. Thank you so much.
Good, Rima. Thank you.